In today's video, we are going to talk about what is Hadoop and how does it relate to big data. Before we jump onto what is Hadoop and how it is related to big data, first we need to understand what big data is. Nowadays, anything that is connected with the internet is producing data. The shift from traditional technology to modern technology also played its role. For example, we used to have dial-up telephones, desktop computers with limited internet connectivity and services, and traditional cars. But now, we are seeing smartphones, cloud PCs and services, and smart cars as well. Everything is generating data nowadays. Then came the Internet of Things that played the catalyst role, and data generation increased exponentially. Air conditioners in our home, ovens, lights, and anything that is connected to the internet generates the data. Then if we talk about the social media engines, Pinterest has more than 700 million active users, Twitter has more than 570, Facebook has more than 1 billion, Instagram has more than 200 million users, and same goes for Google and LinkedIn. All those users are producing data whenever they use any of those services. To have a rough idea about how much data we are getting and generating from social media accounts, Facebook generates more than 4 petabytes of data every day. That is a million gigabytes per day. After all this, the internet took over the majority of the organizations, healthcare, education sector, transportation, etc. And all of these played their part in generating the data. And now let's talk about the definition of big data. Well, it can be defined as big data is a high volume, high velocity, and high variety information assets that demand cost-effective, innovative forms of information processing for enhanced insight and decision making. Another standard definition of big data is anything that crushes Excel is big data. So we have seen how much data we are getting and what makes data big data. Now, there comes a need to handle and process all this vast and big data. Traditionally, big data was handled with a system with huge processing and storage capacity, but that was not enough. Because, for example, let's say we have 100 terabytes of data, and with the internet speed of 100 megabytes, it will take around 12 days just to process it. But as we are getting 4 petabytes only from Facebook per day, this is not an optimal solution. Surely, there was a need to have some solution that could handle such huge data. In comes the Hadoop. It is an open source software framework for distributed storage and distributed big data processing on clusters of commodity hardware. It uses a cluster of computers and divides the data into all those clusters for faster processing. It is designed so that you can scale it up from single servers to thousands of machines immediately. And each server and machine offers you local computation and storage. And not only that, it is designed in such a way that it can detect and handle the failures on its own. If you again take the example of 1 terabytes of data that needs to be processed, now if I divide 1 terabytes of data on 100 nodes with the same internet speed, now 1 terabytes of data will be processed in just 16 minutes. So how quick is that? Well, Hadoop consists of 3 main parts: Hadoop Common, Hadoop Distributed File System, Hadoop Yarn. Hadoop Common typically consists of the standard technologies that supports the other Hadoop modules. HDFS is a distributed file system that offers and provides high throughput access to data. Then we have Yarn, and Yarn is the framework that gets used for job scheduling and resource management in a cluster. In Hadoop, we have one more phenomena, and that is Hadoop MapReduce. MapReduce is another thing that is yarn-based system, and it is used to process large data sets. So that was all about the Hadoop. So now, if I say that Hadoop and big data are interrelated, it would not be wrong. And that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.